Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. This video is a bit of a PSA. This video is a necessity. This video is not just me commenting on something I want to comment on for fun or just merely for entertainment value. This is a really integral topic that we need to have some kind of discussion about, and that is net neutrality. Right now, the FCC chairman, Ajit Pai, who of course was appointed by the Trump administration, has been talking about repealing net neutrality regulations for a while now, made a pretty bold statement about wanting to do so earlier in the year. And now it seems like the FCC under Pai, under the Trump administration, are making some serious moves to try to make that happen this year. There's going to be a vote coming up on December 14th. And a lot of people have been causing a stink about it. A lot of people are making a lot of noise about it. A lot of people have been contacting their congressmen and women trying to prevent this from happening. And let me give you a little bit of a taste as to why we need to fight for this and why we need to be paying attention to this. So there are countries out there that have, or rather don't have, the net neutrality regulations that we currently do in the U.S. I know it's kind of hard to think of that the U.S. is actually doing something right in comparison with other first world countries, but here's a little bit of a tip of the iceberg of what we could be looking at if we were to lose what little net neutrality regulations we have on the books right now. In Portugal, we have ISPs who are literally splitting up internet packages into different websites. So you have a certain amount of money that you pay to get access to your messaging on the internet, to your social media platforms and sites, your Facebooks, your Instagrams, your Twitters, your Snapchats. And this is just, you're paying just for access to this stuff. You're paying in order to upload and download from these websites. You have a little video package here as well. I imagine that you would have to pay in order to get access to sites like Netflix and Hulu and so on and so forth, Twitch. But you have to actually go beyond that and pay for, let's say, YouTube Red, or pay for Netflix if you actually wanted access to those features, so you're just paying to get your foot in the door here. We also have a little music package over here with Spotify and SoundCloud. We also have a little email package over here. So ISPs could feasibly, once they have full control, because remember, net neutrality, what they're talking about there with net neutrality, the phrase being that ISPs do not sort of discriminate and do not distinctify from what bandwidth is going where, what websites you're on. It's all ones and zeros. It's all transferred bandwidth through the internet, no matter where you're going, what you're doing. They're not actually saying that you can go here, you can go here, you can go here. It's all internet. It's all open. It's all accessible at the same speed, the same amount, for the same price that you pay every month. That's currently the benefit of our net neutrality regulations right now. Take that away, and ISPs can now start parsing off pieces of the internet and allowing you to go to certain places, or not allowing you to go to certain places, or when you go to certain websites or use certain apps, or maybe when you're emailing but you haven't paid the full price, you're not going to get the best speed, you're not going to get the best bandwidth on a particular site or a particular app or whatever. Now, there have been people talking about in the past how ISPs could effectively also use this lack of regulation to shake down other websites that, hey, if you don't pay, you're not going to get the best bandwidth, you're not going to get the best speed. People need speed to get to your platform, and we're not going to give it to you if you don't pay whatever price we sort of throw your way. That's likely going to be the case. But here's how you are going to get fucked in this too, because you're going to have to pay for all your video. You're going to have to pay that extra $5.99, $6.99, $7.99, whatever 99 a month, just to get access to YouTube, which is friggin' free. You're going to have to pay an extra whatever 99 a month just to get access to your messaging and text your friends. You're going to have to get that extra whatever package a month just to get on Snapchat, to see all your friends' snaps, see your favorite DJ Khaled snaps, see all my memes over on Instagram, because I post a lot of memes over at fantano on Instagram. So, guys, this is not looking too good. This is not looking great. We need to fight for this, and I'm not saying that that we're going to come out of this necessarily ahead, because it is looking very ugly under Trump, under this current Republican administration, considering that you have somebody in power heading the FCC who's really trying to take this shit down, take these regulations down. He's pretty gung-ho about it. Now, down there in the description box, I would influence you guys to head over to battleforthenet.com. This website is pretty easy to use. I've used it myself. You essentially just punch in your phone number. You give a little location information. You know, it's not to gather on you. It's not some crazy NSA shit. You know, truth be told, the NSA already knows everything about you. You just punch in your phone number and a prompt will call you, and it just tells you who your representative is, and it just sort of plugs you into sort of a call with their office in Washington. And you essentially just kind of voice your opinion once they pick up, and you tell them what you feel about net neutrality, and you want your congressperson to take a stance on the issue, and you want them to maintain or improve regulations. You don't want the FCC chairman, you don't want Congress, you don't want the Senate to, you don't want the House, you don't want the Senate to be stripping regulations away. You want the internet to stay free and open. You don't want ISPs pulling the internet apart in different packages and essentially treating the internet like TV. You know, I and many other content creators over the years have been talking about exactly this, that ISPs, that the powers that be have been doing their damnedest to try to figure out how to turn the internet into TV. Not only so that TV and traditional media stays afloat, but also so that they can kind of control the flow of information. They can prevent people from getting alternative sources of information. And I feel like that desire, I feel like that push has gotten more and more intense over the past year, given just how volatile and unpredictable the past election was, in that there were so many different voices, there were so many different competing perspectives in the democratic process that were kind of undercutting the usual narratives delivered to us by the mainstream media, by bought-out politicians, so on and so forth. And in fact, that's the way democracy should be. There should be competing ideas. There should be competing voices that are outside of the very limited philosophical worldview of, you know, sort of our left-right dynamic in America right now. However, something like this is going to seriously hinder that. Even more than what we've been just simply seeing on YouTube with channels being demonetized or limited monetization, limited promotion, what we've been seeing on Twitter with all the shadow banning and throttling that, not only there, but other social media sites as well have been kind of engaging with in secret. While yes, there is reason to be upset with what a lot of these sites are doing. What the FCC is about to do here is even worse, is even dangerous, is going to affect your quality of life as you know it. And again, seriously limit your access to information. That cannot be stressed enough. And it cannot be stressed enough that you guys need to head down there in the description box, battleforthenet.com, hit up that prompt, or just simply go on another website that we will link to down in the description, which will allow you to just search personally how you can find your representative in Congress and call them yourself. You know, if you don't want to do the prompt, you can just sort of do it manually. That way you sort of have that site, pocket that, bookmark it, so that whenever you have a political query or an issue in the future and you want to voice your opinion, you have that congressperson's number and information saved, so you can just kind of give a call in the future whenever something comes up. I know I personally have done that, and I make regular calls to my congresspeople when I do have issues, and I do take to social media as well to hit them up on Twitter as well, maybe even going as far as a letter writing campaign is necessary in this instance, given that the vote is going to be coming up in December. So there is certainly time to send some mail over to your congressperson's office too. So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. Again, this video was just a necessity. I needed to kind of get this message out there because this affects me, this affects you. This is a really integral issue that we cannot sort of just slide under the rug right now, because that's exactly what the people who are trying to make this change and strip away from these regulations are hoping for. Are hoping for, because they're going to be doing this vote just short of Christmas. They announced that they were going to do the vote around Thanksgiving right here. So they're hoping people are going to be distracted by the holidays, not fully paying attention to everything, so that when the change finally does come, everyone's like, well, what? When the fuck did that change? So please do pay attention here. Please do something now. Please don't miss a beat here between now and December. Make your opinion known. And I trust you guys will do that. Thank you for watching, and you're the best forever.